Hello, and a very warm welcome to SportsLumo.com's 50 greatest Olympic moments for India. I am Siddharth Vishwanathan, editor-in-chief of SportsLumo.com, and in this episode, I will go back to the very beginning. In all the episodes that I have been saying, I have said India's glorious 93-year representation in the Olympics. I will tell you the reason why. Yes, Norman Pritchard, for all those sporting encyclopedias and geeks, will tell me that Norman Pritchard participated from India in the 1900 and 1904 Olympics. But he participated as part of the British Empire, not because for India. It was truly in 1928 when India as an entity participated in the Olympics for the first time. It was in hockey. That is why I say 93 years of India's glorious representation. 1928 Olympics would be the starting point where India would assert its identity on the world. 1928 was a very volatile time in Indian politics and society. The social and cultural gap between the local Indians and the Anglo-Indians widened. There was also the coming of a certain revolutionary called Bhagat Singh. Amidst all the conundrum and amidst all the boiling cauldron of politics and the cultural upheaval in India, for the first time the Indian hockey team was being made to send to the Olympics. The story of India's hockey and hockey as a sport in general is a very turbulent one in the Olympics. The sport only came into recognition around the 1924 Olympics, 1920 to 1924. But India did not have a representation there. Why? Because the country did not have a statutory hockey federation. Thus, in 1925, the Indian Hockey Federation was created. But despite tournaments like the Aga Khan Memorial and the Baton Cup being played around Kolkata and Mumbai, would there be talent emerging from India? They were soon going to find out. Thanks to a certain Feroz Khan, or more likely, Dhyan Chand, one of the greatest in the business. Before heading into the trip, the India hockey team had to play a warm-up game against Bombay. They lost 2-3. Imagine an Olympic contingent side going to the mega event, losing to a Bombay side. The expectations were so low that only three people came to see off the team at the Bombay docks. The India hockey team tried to make the best out of the situation. At the other end, the captaincy fell to a very interesting candidate called Jaipal Singh. Jaipal Singh originally hailed from the Munda tribe that lived in the Chota Nagpur region at that time. He had gone to England to study and clear the ICS exam. In this era, it is called the Indian Administrative Services. At that time, it was the ICS, the combined services. Jaipal wanted to seek permission from the authorities to captain the India hockey team. The authorities refused. Jaipal defied them and he decided to captain the India hockey team. The Indian team arrived in England and they decided to play a couple of exhibition matches. One of the matches was at the Folkestone Festival against Great Britain. Now, legend has it that India thrashed the Great Britain side comprehensively in that exhibition match. The British were so feared, they were so fearful of humiliation against the Indian side that they withdrew the contingent from the Olympics. The British at that time did not want to look vulnerable amidst high political drama in India. So they backed away. India dominated all the matches that they had played in England. And when they came to Germany and the Netherlands, they dominated that too. Something miraculous, something glorious was about to happen in Indian hockey. One could sense it. England's withdrawal was the starting of something great. India breezed through the league stages, registering dominant wins after dominant wins. They made it to the final, and there they would face the home favourites, the Netherlands. But just before the final, a couple of incidents happened. One, Dhyan Chand was down with fever. He was already the tournament's supreme goal scorer. Firoz Khan also suffered a broken collarbone. Two of India's best players were in doubt. Dhyan Chand was wondering what I had to do, how to do it, how to get well and play for India. The Indian hockey team manager at that time came up and just said three words: do or die. Those three words brought about the soldier instinct in Dhyan Chand. Remember, he too was serving in the Indian Army at that time. So Major Dhyan Chand decided that he would give it all in the field. But before the final, there was already team issues. Jaipal Singh's style of captaincy had not made the Anglo-Indian players happy, the British players in the team happy. Protests after protests was registered, and Jaipal Singh left the tournament. Captaincy was stripped and he left the Olympics. That did not deter India, folks. In the final, Dhyan Chand put up a spectacular performance and India defeated the Netherlands and clinched their first ever Olympic gold medal. Three people had seen them off in Bombay. When they came back from the Olympics, millions had lined up. Finally, India had asserted itself on the world stage in sports in their very first attempt. Gold on debut in the Olympics was the ultimate feather in the cap for the Indian state at that time. Dhyan Chand became a hero. Other players were all decorated. It was the start of something spectacular for India. As for Jaipal Singh, he later on became one of the prime leaders of the Munda tribe. And he played a big part in India's freedom struggle. But 1928 Olympics gold was the start of a dominance that was simply sublime to behold. 1932, 1936, 1948, 1952, 1956. 5 consecutive goals after the first initial gold in 1928. Dhyan Chand, Leslie Claudius, Udham Singh, Balbir Singh Sr. all became legends of the game. But if India had to pick a particular year in which they had to assert their dominance on the world stage, especially in sports, it would have to be 1928 and the hockey team's performance in the Olympics in Amsterdam. Truly, it was the start of something incredibly special. Thank you so much for watching this special episode, folks. I will be back with another interesting anecdote on hockey in the next episode. This time, India humiliate their colonial masters. You would not want to miss that. Press the subscribe button, tap the bell icon, like, comment and share, folks. 50 greatest Olympic moments for India is your ultimate knowledge base for all of India's celebrations, for all of India's achievements in the Olympics. Keep watching and stay safe. Bye-bye.